So I'm just here for a few hours. I have used this spot before, and I've had a fire here and it's spot on, it works really well. However, that oak and that alder, I might chuck my hammock up because I'm, let's say, going to get some rest. And I'm going to have the fire just a little bit further along, off the shingles, down here somewhere. My main priority is getting that going because it's such a humid day, very little wind. The midges are just going mad, so that's number one priority. And I decided this morning, foolishly, to do it properly rather than bring a fire later. I'm regretting that. I'll learn. In actual fact, that humidity has worked in my favour for one positive reason. And I'll show you why in a sec. It's to do with this as well. Right, I'm going to go and find some thin bits of brush and get this going. It's a nice bit of fallen, larch, not Norway spruce. So that's going to have a little nugget of fat wood in it. There we go. Give it a little feed. Get some of that smoke on me. A little bit more of this larch. It's a good burner. This is all stuff that the tree self prunes. If branches aren't getting enough sunlight, they'll just stop feeding them and then they'll cut off themselves. It's a prominent tree in our woodland and it's got so many benefits and features. It's part of our ancient woodland here. And it's what about sort of 80% of the trees in this section are just the wildlife, all the tree creepers, reds mixing around with the sort of oaks as well. Just creates like an absolute perfect habitat for wildlife, and it's really good underground as well. So once this is going, I'm going to get my hammock up and then I'm going to take you to see some of the little morsel mushrooms we have grown here, and it's only because of the larch trees that they're here. This is my quick deploy hammock setup for exactly today, when you need to get set up quickly, whether it's for the weather, but today it's those midges, those pesky midges. I've got, it's definitely overkill, I've got some marine rope. It's really low stretch, pretty much minimum, and I quite like the thicker ropes. No particular reason, I just feel like they work a little bit better for me. But I believe in believing that you're going to sleep well. I think that's half the battle. So if I feel like my hammocks are not going anywhere, my hammocks go nowhere, I'm pretty golden. So the other bonus, not a single joke, each one's got a 2,000 kilo break and strain. And on these, I've just got some rope progress capture. It's total overkill, but it makes for a super quick hammock setup. I'll show you them in a little more detail, a little closer in a sec. But they just hook on, close the carabiner, close the carabiner, and then all this will do now is I'll just tighten it up. And it is as easy as that. So this is what I use. Hammock's attached to a carabiner. The carabiners on this rope progress capture, as you can see, just slips up. And then if you need it to go down, just release, it'll go down nice and easy. And it just makes for really quick adjustments, fine tuning. I wasn't going to do any form of foraging today, to be honest. I just wanted to come up and eat some food and go for a nap. I walked past this. You can smell these before you see them. This is a stinkhorn. Not so edible. They smell. They're covered in flies. I think the Latin name's phallus something or other. I've got no idea why, but that's a corker, that. So these are the mushrooms that I noticed on the way in. The main significance with these, why I want to talk about them today, is the tree that gives us quite a bit of comfort, food and firewood in this woodland. Obviously I've been using the deadfall branches on the fire there. We've milled the camp out of the larch wood that came down in Arwen. But yeah, these mushrooms, on a foraging days we class mushrooms as edible, inedible, poisonous, but then you've also got your medicinal side of fungus and your mechanical properties, where it's firelighting and things like that. But these grow here specifically in the larch wood. This is a larch bolete, same as your other different types of bolete. But you can tell when you're picking them, when you notice them, they're just like bright orange. They're normally a little bit slimier than that, but these have a specific relationship with the trees. So if you can identify a larch wood from a distance, you'll be able to find this food source this time of the year. So we're in June, it's really humid, had a lot of rain, and it's been like really hot. So the relationship between the mushroom and the tree is that the mushroom will decay everything around it, and those nutrients will go into the mycelium and spread around the root system of the tree, and in return the tree will actually, specifically only for the purpose of helping the mushroom release water into the ground. If you think trees create a big canopy to catch as much sunlight, traffic water where it needs to go. So in order to get the nutrients from underneath, the tree will release water. This is it's called an ectomycorrhizal relationship between the mushroom and the tree. Similar ones you get, like we've seen them in this wood here only a few times, birch boletes. Birch boletes will grow next to birch trees and have that similar association. So these are not edible raw. They'll give you an upset stomach, and I have been caught out a few times with mushrooms with not cooking them thoroughly enough when you're supposed to. Your normal field mushrooms are great, you can eat those raw, it's fine. These will just give you a bit of an upset stomach, so I'm just going to make sure they're cooked off properly. The mushrooms I've been talking about, they can give you an upset stomach if they're not cooked through, so obviously, yeah, definitely wash your hands like after you've prepped them. So get them into the pan, then wash your hands, because that property can get inside of you. Also, as well, don't forget your knife. So this is a stainless steel, so we're good to go. If you've got in your first aid pack any sort of antibacterial wipes, alcohol gel, anything like that, just give your knife a wipe down as well, so that's safe for next time. And as I say, it's just good practice, and believe me, I found this out through trial and error. Lunch for today, I wasn't sure what to get. I was going to try and get a pork chop from the butcher's, hang it above the fire and smoke it, but I've just got 7 or 8 huge juicy tiger prawns, and I'm going to cook them one of my favourites. I was going to use some of the wild garlic up here today, but it's diminished a bit, it's gone. So I'm going to do a classic seafood, garlic, chili and tarragon. I'm just going to saute this up with some butter. I've got some fresh rye sourdough to dip in the butter afterwards. Second-hand shop, legitimate Arga. Starters, get your pan sterilised. Right when your water's boiling, just discard it. Pan sterilised. Let's get some extra virgin olive oil in there. Get that heated up. Right, this is where the real cooking bit starts. Got your garlic oil, prawns in there, just deglaze it. Tiny amount of water. Launch some butter in. Once that butter's in, pan's hot, a little bit of fluid there with the deglazed liquid. Haha, full-on cooking demo here. We're just going to emulsify that butter into that water, make a nice stock. Nice sauce. Don't know where to start. I'm gonna chuck that there. Get a wedge of this bread. Oh, it's toasted now. Let's get in there with a sauce. See what that's like. Honestly, chili, tarragon butter with garlic, any kind of shellfish. Oh God. This is going to be another one of those days where I have to go home, tell my wife that I've been slumming it up the woods. Oh, let's get a bit of that. Get a bit of that chili on there. Oh. That's unreal. fashioned myself a one-arm chopstick, I'm gonna say. That's crazy, that. Get a bit of that chili on there. Another prawn. Oh my word. Right. This was my sole aim for today. Eat some food, crash for an hour in the hammock. I've got to give some credit to my wife. She made the sourdough, rye sourdough. That is absolutely beautiful. That's mad, that. The chilies I've got were just, they're called red finger chilies. Strange enough, you can get green finger chilies. They're not raging hot, so you can put like the whole thing in, the seeds and everything. You get a real intense flavour of like that red chili without it ruining your food. And that's why I really like them. You know, they're great on top of pizzas, fresh, dice them fresh, put them in the risottos and that sort of stuff. Oh, that's magic. I don't know if I should be doing bushcraft or outdoor cooking lessons. We'll see. The bushcraft's doing all right. Absolutely mad, that. Soak up some of that sauce. Really, when you're doing seafood like this, like bulk cooking different things, you know, if you're doing mussels or a big pan of crayfish or crevettes, get that oil started with your garlic, let it caramelize, and then just deglaze the pan with a bit of water, wine, beer, whatever you've got. And then once that's come to a rolling boil, chuck your blocks of butter in, and that's going to create a really nice emulsification. And that's where you get that rich, buttery sauce. Oh, that's better. Have half an hour snooze. Oh, right. Quick deploy tarp in reverse. Did bring a shelter with me, but tarp just not needed today. grab my cooking stuff, and I'm done. That's just another genuine thank you for watching. I've had a cracking day. I've taken the mushrooms home because I couldn't eat anything else. I'm going to cook them for tea tonight. I've got some pizza. Just a little update on what we're doing in the woods. Roof's on the shelter. We've been putting up for ages. We've got some shingles ready to go on. So it's all coming together. Another couple of days and it'll be all done. We've been guest lecturers. Northern Woodcraft's been guest lecturers at the local college around here, just teaching some students some extra sort of life skills, fire lighting, bit of foraging. We made some mallets with the students, so it was quite good getting them to get some hands-on use with axes and all the sort of saws and sharp Scandi grind knives that we use on the courses up here. We've had a spoon carving workshop running last week as well. Sunday, that was great. 4 or 5 people. Then weekend before, we were down at the Northern County Sports Show, which was just phenomenal. Had the full weekend down there, and that's been great. So today, just chilled out with the woods, ate some lush food. I think I got about 45 minutes kip in the hammock there. It was lush. Just woke up, just the trees like rustling with the leaves, a few birds twittering on. Absolutely pristine. So I'm off home now. Real world. Thank you. I'm gonna go and switch the camera off so you weirdos aren't looking at us while I'm sleeping.